You are listening to the winnfm Sports News, which came to you with the kind compliments of Island Bakery.
Island Bakeries, good to the last come for over 2 decades. We have the best sliced bread anywhere on the island, the best butter bread, cakes and pastries, and a staff that's warmer. Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb. We also have island-wide delivery buses, outlets at the industrial site Bay Road and on 4th Street, opening hours from 5 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Easy in the morning. Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb. Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb.
The South 98.9 FM.
Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices, Rams is always here. You want your loyalty, Rams is always here. We are community, we are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
I ain't got no hurricane safety tips now. Well, Skellek got, and together we can weather the storm. So, check this. Prepare for power outages. Charge devices before a storm strikes. Develop a plan in the event that electricity goes. Learn where and how to shut off your home's electricity. Ensure that there are no trees in the lines near you. If you are experiencing low voltage, turn off the main switch in your home. Do not touch wet appliances. Be sure to stay tuned to Skellek's Facebook page and website for updates about the outages and restoration. For emergencies, our contact numbers are 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. I repeat, 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. Remember, with Skellek's hurricane safety tips, together we can weather the storm.
Reliable and responsible. Skellek is here for you. Powering our community.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Back to school is here at Harper's. Yes, Harper's is where it's at with the widest selection of school and art supplies for all schoolgoers, from the tiniest preschooler to the big cool college students. Plus, everyone can enjoy a 10% discount and a chance to spin the wheel and enter our grand draw in September. And the bonus is, our friendly team is looking forward to welcoming you again and again and again. For more information, call us at 466-6500.
Yeah, we got that.
Come, build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers. We don't just sell materials, we help you build your dreams. Whether it's a new home, a renovation, or a DIY project, we're here to make it happen. That's why we say, build with us. From foundation to finish, come to our stores where we have the best in building materials, hardware, tools, paints, expert advice, and more. Whatever you need, you can count on us. So if you're ready to get started, build with us. With Hostels Building and Nevis Centers, you're not just building a structure, you're building a future. Let us help you create something amazing. Dream with us, plan with us, grow with us, build with us. Come build with us at Hostels Building and Nevis Centers today. Build with us at Hostels.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the regional and international diaspora. Once again, a pleasant good morning. It is just about 5 minutes after the hour of 8. It's Tuesday, September 4th. I know the superstar Beyonce, as they call her, she's celebrating today. And a few other folks, whether you're celebrating your anniversary or your birthday, have an enjoyable one, a promotion, you passed your exams, you passed the bar, etc., etc. Congratulations. And for those of you celebrating, happy birthday on behalf of us here at WinFM. Just to remind you, we are on your FM dial at 98.9. We are on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. If you wish to join in on the discussion or bring a pressing topic to the fore, our local numbers are 466-0989 or 1-305-921-4619, 1-718-285-6984, or 0333-440065. Good morning to you, Quint. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Trying to be, you know what I say, plenty better than yesterday.
Well, you're looking good.
I'm trying, trust me. I'm
in
trying.
In your, what is that?
Black and white.
Black and white.
I find everything I put my hand on now is almost black and white. And plus, this one was like, I didn't have to iron, so I was like, yeah.
Okay.
I was happy about that part. So what has been up? What's on the news wave? I saw, whilst I was out yesterday, and I'll be out next Wednesday, so let me put that out there again due to work. I saw Mark put out a post that said the young lady did good on her word to send the letter his way, but you can't play mass if you're afraid powder. That's a song that Marshall Montana have out. I don't know if you know that song. And he's basically saying he's not afraid of powder. So,
well, if he's not afraid of powder, how is it that he gets so agitated that he calls people names? He says they're what? Unschooled, trying to use better words than he did. They can't understand basic English and other things. You know, if you can take the powder, you might give a retort, but not to get too down low. You know what I'm saying?
So he not afraid powder, as the song goes. So
Can
he can take all the powder that comes with the mass. Oh boy. And in other news, I see that St. Kitts removes education requirements and extends dependent age to 30 in Best Move reform, and this pertains to the Citizen by Investment program.
In Best what?
Citizen, CBI.
No, you said in Best something.
Citizen by Investment program.
No, read back what you said just.
St. Kitts remove education requirements and extends dependent age to 30 in Best Move reform.
In Best Move reform. That is what I didn't get clear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it says, we have somebody in the line?
Yeah.
Caller, good morning. You're live in Island Tea.
Good morning to everybody, and greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, I would just like to say, as usual, we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth as quickly as possible. The quicker, the better. Something else I want to say as well. Now, it concerned yesterday something that was said on Voices. And I would like to say something concerning it. Now, yesterday, mention was made of Jim Jones loving the Bible and having a Christian record, a good Christian record, and teaching the Bible. Now, anybody who says that, without due respect, that's a lie from the pit of hell. Jim Jones hated the Bible. He was a communist and he was a socialist. And the commune that he built in Guyana was based upon socialism and communism, which he was an avid fan of. No, but the Bible, Jim Jones hated the Bible. He was not a Bible believer. He hated the Bible. I was just listening to a clip where where members of the church say he threw down the Bible on the ground and stomped on it. And there was a clip where he's saying he even S on the Bible. You know, the S is a 4-letter word. He even did that on the Bible. I have a clip with him saying that. And he abused his members. He moved to Jonestown because of the bad press report on him, and the government was also investigating him for abuse and that sort of stuff. So he never had a good Christian record, and he hated the Bible. He was not a Bible believer. And we who say we are Christians and peddling these lies from the pit of hell are doing Christianity more harm than anything else. Say he was a communist and socialist, that was true. But not that he was a Bible believer or had a good Christian record. And concerning that as well, I'm going to quickly say this. When it comes to adoption, if a white couple have a good Christian record and they adopt a black child or black children and rear them up in the Christian way of life and belief according to the Word of God, have done a far better job to those black kids than a black couple having children and not doing such. And not doing such. And vice versa is the truth as well. The vice versa is the truth as well. So like I said yesterday, it's a matter of course, some principles and not the colors when it comes to adoption. Because, like I said, you rear up children in the Bible way, you've done a far better job than anyone else who have not done such. Even if they rear up their children to be lawyers and doctors, but have not reared them up in the Bible way, have not done as good of a job, has done a terrible job, whereas those who do it in the Bible way have done a very good job. And it does not matter the color of the parent or the children. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution. Oh, and before we go on, Quint, I have to say congratulations to the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
Oh,
Andrew Holness, he got his 3rd term, and okay. I see Guyana gave Irfan Ali his 2nd term.
Well, those were expected. I don't think people...
You think? In Guyana, when I was there, I saw some of the shenanigans, and they were... the Blue Party seemed to... How do I put it?
Ahead? Huh? They seem to be ahead.
It was, to me, if I were to judge, I would say it wasn't sure to me, but the Blue Party thought they had it.
Well, I'm speaking from us out, on the external, who are looking on and following what has happened in Guyana in the recent period, and we assume that he would likely, be returned.
With all the progress?
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
Even though we have some, but no one is perfect, and we hope that he will smooth out some of the kinks as he go along. But from our perspective, from us looking on, we felt that Wholeness and Afan Ali, that there would be returned.
I was a bit afraid for wholeness, though.
It could have gone the other way, but
yeah, because the other party in Jamaica, they were looking like they were making advances.
okay. Well, what was the outcome in terms of what percentage? Have they given a breakdown as yet?
I didn't see that,
Okay.
so I'll have to look for that. and get
Neither
back
in
on that.
Guyana or in Jamaica.
Yeah, I just saw them congratulatory messages being sent out to both of them,
Okay.
but I didn't see the breakdown.
It'll be
Anything, and
interesting to see the breakdown, because if it is close, then it means both of them will have to tighten their, initiatives as they move forward. But if it is a resounding thing, then it meant, well, okay, it's undisputed.
Yeah, because and you see they had a debate in Jamaica. I even see Azad made mention of something to the likeness that could happen here in St. Kitts eventually, because I think that was the first debate those two
Which two?
leaders had, Mr. Golden and Mr. Holness, because those were the
Okay.
two contesting Orange Party and the Green Party
Okay.
in Jamaica.
Did you see any highlights of the?
No. I didn't get a chance to watch it. As the doctor said, with this life that's lifingly busy, you hardly get to do what you're supposed to do. But no, I'll have to make time when I have some free time and look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us. Buster! We run things, things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA specials.
Running August 21st to September 3rd.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Mayonnaise, just $17.99. Essential Everyday Trash Bags, $11.89. Mueller's Pasta, $5.99. Sunny Delight Smooth and Tangy, $7.99. Orville Redenbacher Microwave Popcorn, just $9.99. Essential Everyday Vinegar, $14.99. And now, our very low weekly
Value deals! IGA and Essential Everyday Cereals, $9.99. Essential Everyday Oats, Quick and Old Fashioned, $10.99. Chobani Greek Yogurt, $5.69. Pillsbury Cake Mix, $6.99. Swab deodorant, $8.99. The Colgate Toothpaste, $7.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, tell them in Spanish.
Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Back to school is here at Harper's. Yes, Harper's, it's where it's at with the widest selection of school and art supplies for all schoolgoers, from the tiniest preschooler to the big cool college students. Plus, everyone can enjoy a 10% discount and a chance to spin the wheel and enter our grand draw in September. And the bonus is, our friendly team is looking forward to welcoming you again and again and again. For more information, call us at 466-6500.
Yeah, we got that.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we're back on Island Tea, and as before we got into that, I was about to read an article, and I will continue along that vein, and it says, Industry experts praise changes as St. Kitts Nevis removes education requirements that weren't working for modern families. It says the St. Kitts and Nevis has announced amendments to its Citizen by Investment program, which will allow dependent children up to the age of 30 and eliminate mandatory education requirements for adult dependents. The amendments modify existing regulations by extending the maximum age for dependent children from 25 to 30 years, provided the application is submitted before the dependent's 30th birthday. Adult dependents will no longer need enrollment in full-time education, but must demonstrate substantial financial dependence on the main applicant through bank statements, proof of financial support, or sworn affidavits. The CIU describes these changes as necessary to enhance the competitiveness and attractiveness of our program and align with regional standards. The updated regulations will now define eligible dependents as a child age 18 to 30 who is unmarried and substantially supported by the main applicant. Aldebraham Hamidi of Client Referrals is calling this a positive and timely update from the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizen by Investment program. He notes that expanding the age limit for dependents and removing the full-time education requirement creates more flexibilities for families while still maintaining a clear framework of demonstrating financial dependence. Siran Ayasaver, managing partner of Beyond Global Partners, notes that these changes are positive and clearly enhance the competitiveness of the program both within the Caribbean region and on the international stage. He believes the strategic adjustments are likely to attract greater interest from countries where delayed education or prolonged financial dependence is culturally or economically prevalent. Previous rules required that dependents aged 18 to 25 maintain full-time attendance at a recognized secondary or tertiary level institution of learning, along with complete financial support from the main applicant. Removing this requirement addresses practical challenges facing modern families. Kevin Hussam, founder and chairman of EC Holdings, considers the education requirement elimination the best move for sure, and notes that education requirement was a real pain. He explained that there are a lot of young people who do not go to university after they graduate school and emphasizes that this does not make them financially independent. He believes that the dependency part with the education wasn't working and sees the change as evidence that clearly the aim is to be more competitive, obviously. Probably a good sign from St. Kitts and Nevis that they're trying to be competitive again. Nick Stevens, CEO of NTL Trust, attributes the changes to competitive pressures and notes that addition of family members is important for many clients. He highlights that some young adults might be in between studies or pursuing professional training, and that is not officially recognized as studies. The amendments address these real-world scenarios that previously excluded eligible family members. The timing coincides with the implementation of the Eastern Caribbean Citizen by Investment Regulatory Authority, the ECCIRA, scheduled for September 2025. Hussam expressed some surprise at the timing, noting that St. Kitts and Nevis has done a lot of changes sporadically and wonders if it is being done now to avoid extra hurdles once the regulator is fully in place. He doesn't anticipate regulatory conflicts, noting, he said, and quote, "I don't see any issues with it under the Memorandum of Agreement. I don't know what part of the agreement would tell them they can't do that." The CIU emphasizes that the update ensures our program remains responsive to market evolution while upholding the core values of integrity and transparency that define it. It's a lengthy one, so I'll stop there.
Do you understand what it's really saying? I don't.
So they're basically not forcing people that are to get an education to me anymore, especially when you're between a certain age, because I'm assuming from 18 to 25 you had to be enrolled in some form of educational organization here in the Federation. to continue your studies until a certain age. So that's how I understood it when I read it.
And this is just for citizens by investment.
Just for them. Not
I
for
still
us.
don't. I still don't really understand it. I don't really
I'll send it
comprehend.
for you.
No, even if you send it, I listened to all that you read, but I still don't grasp what it's.
So basically, if you were bringing dependents to me between the ages of 18 to 25, they had to be enrolled. I guess that's part of the stipulation of your contract if they too are going to become citizens under you. And when you enroll them in the educational institutions, then you have to make sure that you have monies to foot. Let's say they end up in one of those.
Educational institution here or external?
It seems to be here in order for them to continue their education. So it could have been Ross, it could have been any one of the medical.
And now you exempt that. Now you take out that. But why?
Because not everybody fares well with university. That's what it's basically saying. So let's say some of them come and end up being running businesses. Maybe their children could look at them, see how they do it.
So before it was like mandatory?
It seems so.
Oh, okay then. Kind of a grasping it, but I still don't.
And you see what the person said. They're wondering if it's because the regulations are coming up now, if that's why they took it out, so they could. I don't know if other countries that have the CIU.
So it's going to make it a bit cheaper.
No, it's going to make them be more competitive, not cheaper. So okay.
Technically, okay. If I'm grasping it right, I am coming as a citizen by investment. I have 3 children.
Yep.
Before it was mandatory that they be enrolled in some educational institution.
Once they're a certain age.
Yes, enrolled in some institution, and that I had to have the amount of finances that will cover
to foot it.
That. But now you take out that, it's going to be cheaper.
Oh, you mean for the person?
Yeah.
The person applying?
Yeah.
But not for the citizenship. Okay, I understand what you're saying now. So it's going to be cheaper for them. They may have more money to maybe include
It's
more
going to
people
be
on the
cheaper
program.
for the citizenship too, because if I am understanding it right, again, I'm coming in, I have 3 children. It was, I'm assuming I understand it right. It was mandatory that they be enrolled in, let's say, Ross. And that meant I would have to have the required amount of finances to pay for that, for them to go there.
Yeah, I have to prove that once I bring them.
So that finances would be coming into the federation. It would be
well.
a part of the overall citizenship by investment.
Yeah.
That's part of the investment, but now you take it out. So it's
But now
gonna
I'm
be-
looking at it this way. What if the passport was one cost, but then that was an additional cost for the person that wanted to buy into our citizenship?
Yes, but however you turn it, as long as I'm grasping it right, it's going to be cheaper.
for the person that's applying.
It's cheaper for the person, yes, because your dependents, you don't have to carry that extra burden
Weight.
of making sure you pay for their tuition. So it's going to be cheaper. So again, some may say you're going fast to the bottom because, I mean, it is all well for the person to say, oh, well, you know, it sounds competitive and because of competition, but at what point does this competition allow you to, you know, make money as opposed to you always cutting out this and cutting out that? So it's getting cheaper all the time.
Well,
No matter
as you
it-
said,
as
it's
long
to
as-
become
that
more
is
competitive.
if I understand it, that is why at first said I didn't, but then as you explained, I kind of think I grasp it, and if I have grasped it right, then it means it's going to be cheaper.
As I said, these changes are positive and clearly enhance the competitiveness of the program.
Yeah, they use those words, competitiveness, and rather than say it's going to be cheaper, and so because it's going to be cheaper, we stand a better chance of garnering people to take part in our citizenship by investment. That is what I wanted.
And the
to kind
article
of
is by Ahmad Abbas.
Yeah.
And he writes articles for these things, and it has Beyond Global Partners, Caribbean, CBI, CIP, Citizenship by Investment, client.
Usually these people who write these articles, they're somewhere tied in, and they benefit to some extent. So they give, they give recommendations, or they make statements that sort of promote what is happening in relation to the citizenship by investment. So when he puts this and he says, well, okay, you're competing now because of the competition, he's making it favorable to those who want to compete now on that level. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, so all of those others who might have said, well, I'm not going to get into the St. Kitts Nevis citizenship by investment because of this added cost. Now that is out, they might say, okay, it's more competitive
But
now.
hear this. All other dependent provisions, including eligibility for children under 18, physically or mentally challenged adult children, and parents aged 55 or older, remain unchanged.
Yeah, I don't. This is why I say how far. Maybe the next time it comes out, that is going to be changed too, and it's going to be more competitive. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and you're going cheaper and cheaper and more to the bottom.
Look at, and they said the dependency part wasn't working. Stevens note that this will make the St. Kitts and Nevis program more attractive to families with young adults, while IAServer suggests that competing programs may introduce similar reforms in the near future to remain competitive. However, Hussam, believes that other Caribbean countries' programs are doing well and that they may not be looking to implement any similar changes soon. So they're trying to say ours is not doing well.
Yeah, they can always say whatever they want. But I'm looking at the fact that it's cheaper, and I'm also looking at the fact that let's get back to that hypothetical with me bringing my children here. If I am a business person, yes, I can incorporate them into the business, or they can, if they have their own capital, can go into the business venture. But I kind of don't like the exemption of the education thing because
continue in education.
Because you find that even athletes who go out there and make millions of dollars because they were recruited into a professional team, you find a lot of them are going back and getting their education. You notice that?
Yeah.
Because they realize that, we come out with a lot of money, but we don't know how to manage that money. So we have to do some business stuff, and so, so.
But a lot of athletes have to go to college.
And it has its cons.
Yeah, a lot of athletes go to college in the U.S. because they have to have some kind of education to fall back on.
That's what I'm saying.
And they have to keep their GPA high, although they're good at their trade.
So what I'm saying is, it may sound good in terms of you saying it becomes more competitive, but in the long run, me as a parent who want my offspring to be able to cope in an advancing world, I would want to make sure they are educated. So it has its pros and it has its cons.
I have to read this part for you. It says, Hamadi sees broader implications for the jurisdiction's market position, observing that St. Kitts and Nevis is demonstrating to us via actions, not just petty words, that they are serious about regaining their pole position in the RCBI industry, and their recent changes are working. We are seeing strong volume shifting back towards St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah, like I said again, and I will reiterate, these people are going to always commend these things because it benefits them. And these are the things we don't look at. We just hear accolades and we say, St. Kitts is getting some good praise and so forth. But that is why I listened to you, and that is why I first said I didn't understand. But I think I kind of grasp it. And now that I've grasped it, if I have correctly, I don't so much like, that you're taking out the educational part of it, right? I may not like that it might have been mandatory that you must do it, but I think it is an option that should be there. So
should be there.
Yeah.
To each his own. I don't know.
Anyway, let me play a bit of a clip to ease some of as we try to relax our minds.
A black woman solved the impossible But guess who got the credit? In 1915, Alice Ball, a 23-year-old chemist from Seattle, developed the first effective treatment for leprosy, something scientists had failed to do for centuries. They called it incurable. She made it injectable. Her discovery gave people their lives back. She was the first woman and first black person to earn a master's in chemistry at the University of Hawaii, then became its first black professor. Her Ball method transformed cholmugra oil into a water-soluble solution. No more blisters, no more bitter taste, no more exile. But Alice died before publishing her research, and her white advisor quietly took the credit, naming it after himself. Years later, Dr. Harry Holman told the truth. This was her work. No one improved it. Alice Ball changed history. She just wasn't allowed to claim it. This is our history. This journey is just beginning.
Yeah, so many contributions we've made, and back then, you know, you didn't always go for what they call the patent or whatever. And and then here an understudy took the credit for it. But eventually he owned up to the fact that he wasn't.
I watched some movie like that, and he developed it, but somebody else took it. He eventually went rogue, started experimenting on prisoners. I can't remember what story it was that I watched. But it's the fact that they stole his patent and acted like it was theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know, and as you said, we know a lot of people do things and then people take credit for it like it's theirs, and the truth eventually comes to light. And
No, we're not just speaking any people, we're speaking black people.
yeah, I was just going to talk about the race. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a caller.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Something that the entire Caribbean is quiet about. What is happening in Gaza. It is wrong. And you see, when we sit quietly and watch another being abused, we better know what happened to one could happen to all. None of the Caribbean leaders is talking about it. Secondly, Venezuela and the so-called little fishing boat, the big jump ship, water blow, killing 11 people. Caribbean leaders, I listened today to our own foreign minister, and in depth, we have already taken sides. Nobody is condemning. Everybody is strict talking about drugs and guns and so forth and so forth. But what we need to look at is the outcome for the Caribbean with war breakout in the region. We are not exempt. And all these refugees, the people who are running from all over the world, from war here and war there. The new CBI thing where you just read is facilitating the takeover of these lands again. In Gaza, Cyprus, South Africa, the Cape. Can we see? Are we just sleepwalking like we're in this maze? We're sleepwalking through it. we need to wake up. We need to rise up and begin to do something for ourselves. Everybody just sitting and talking and going along with the program. We are not addressing the real issues. We're talking a lot about Mark Brantley. We ain't realize it's not Mark Brantley, it's St. Kitts Nevis. And when you're going to give one man 750 acres, the gated community talk, we understand, we shut out. The sustainable settlement. What does it mean? When they take your land, they're going to put you in a project house. Is what it means. You ain't gonna got no choice. This word banging about sustainable, it's a cliche. If St. Kitts had any, the leaders had any real intention to build a sustainable economy, I'm coming where I always go. Where is the food? You cannot be self-sustained and your people hungry. That is absolute stupidity.
But caller, let me ask you this. I hear you and occasionally we speak on it. But when the masses of the people don't say anything or do anything, you don't hear any protests, you don't hear them calling in on any phone, they're just there existing. And what message is that sending to the leaders? It then empowers the leaders. So it doesn't seem to me that it's like you and I, the few, are voices crying in the wilderness.
See, that is a duty. It's a duty. It is a duty for those who are not kind of halfway to kind of, I don't want to say educate, but try to reach out to the others. We've been lynched by Willie. Seriously. The people do not understand, but they need to read the Willie Lynch 1827, I think, letter. It's on the internet. You can Google it. After reading the letter, the people will then begin to understand the mental state that they are existing in is merely a state of existence.
But caller,
we are not living.
But caller, again, I hear what you're saying, but it doesn't seem to me, I could be wrong, and I hear what you're saying, it is a duty that we should be voices crying in the wilderness, but it doesn't seem to me as if though the masses really care.
Bye. A revolution can begin with one man. We must start somewhere. I understand what you're saying. But if we stand down and continue, because somebody is listening and will think,
I am not, and I would never say stand down. So if you garner that, take that out of your head. What I'm saying, though, is that it is frustrating, and whenever you reach a point where you're trying to push something or propagate something, but you see the masses just relaxed, and you know the outcome for the future. You now understand how people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Marcus Garvey and so many others felt, right?
I agree with you, but you see, the struggle is real. The struggle is real, and we must continue the fight. It's not over. We are not free people. These are not our lands. I always say that, and I know you disagree. But these are colonial lands. These are not our lands. They belong to the colonists. Yes, I would agree with you that for 400 years of free labor, we have already earned these lands. But that is only sentiment. In reality, these lands are not ours.
And that is where the frustration comes in, because even if the masses of the people don't seem to get it or care, you would think that the leaders, and let's put leaders in inverted commas, you would think that it was the leaders to be the ones to enlighten the people and say, look, my people, this 400 years of blood, sweat, and tears, this is ours, this is yours, and we will in no way just allow it to go back into the hands of our detractors. But the leaders, as you've said, and I am well aware also, they're accommodating this, because even in when we look at the recent communique read by Cartensia, we see that they're going further and further to the bottom, trying to compete to see who can come and buy up our they say they don't sell passport, but that again, I mean, they say some really foolish things, you know. They say they don't sell passports, but they're selling passports.
No, Edinburgh said that they sell passports.
Yeah.
Edinburgh said it on the radio. Let's admit it. I'm quoting him. Let's admit it. Yes, what we really do is sell passports.
That's what we do. That's it. Yeah, so yeah, it's frustrating though. It's frustrating when you look and you see, you know what the outcome would be if we follow this trend, because you've seen it. You've seen it on other islands in the Caribbean.
We are making it easier. You said cheaper.
Yeah.
It's not cheaper. It's easier.
Well,
for the settlers to come.
601s. What they say, 601 half dozen or the other, same thing.
Yeah. For the settlers to come. No, they're making it easier.
Yeah.
For families. By moving the requirements. You could bring all your children.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can move into a gated community. You can take the same 150 acres. We need to wake up. We need to get rid of the type of leaders that we elect.
Yeah.
We need to stop the allegiance to parties and place our allegiance to the country.
Yeah.
If your allegiance is to a party, which is only a set of people seeking power with their own ideas and ideologies, then you're a traitor to your country. Your allegiance must be to your country.
But caller, hear this. Sometimes when I speak, especially, I'm going to go specifically to me. When I speak, I don't know, there may be those out there who might be saying, if I, for instance, speak to an issue with Mark Grantley, they might say, well, you know, he's against Mark Grantley. If I speak to an issue and I might say, well, you know, our Prime Minister should be aware of the trends that he's heading on, or be cognizant of certain things and the people surrounding him, someone might say, you know, he's against the Prime Minister. I am not against any of them. I want to see better. And what I would like these leaders to do is to listen to some of us when we speak and see a little glimmer of wisdom in what we say, and take a part that is better for the country moving forward. There was a time in the past when leaders tried to get development into the country that would bring jobs and you know, and so on. But it seems as if though they're incapable of doing that now. So it seems as if though they want to move to these big things now, where someone can get a big plot of land, promise that if they bring investment into this big plot of land, that we're going to get more jobs in this enclave, and we don't want that. We want to be a society as we are presently, where everyone intermingle, whether you be class, race, or whatever.
Our leaders have not shaken the chains. Our leaders have been colonized. Not the land, the mind. And the school has taught them how to be exactly the way they are. We ain't got no hope in these people. They can't help. They don't know no better. Prime Minister Joe and his entourage, they really think that they're doing something good. But if you ask me, they're all in a state of psychosis. We need to wake up. Have a good day.
Same to you.
Thank you for your contributions.
We're going to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need protection, you'll need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you'll need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us. Rams the good food people, always there to serve you. Rams the good food people, locations right near you. Rams the good food people, in-store specials for you. Rams the good food people. When you need better service, Rams is always here. Better value, better prices. Rams is always here. Rewarding your loyalty. Rams is always here. We are community. We are family. We are family. Rams for you and me. We are community. Rams for you and me.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we're back on Island Tea, and while you gentlemen were discussing, I was listening, but I was still doing some research, and I see that as you were speaking to the Jamaica elections, it was a tight race. The voter turnout was slightly higher than 2020, 38.8. The Jamaica Labour Party, which is Andrew Holness, they won at least 38 seats, while Mark Golden's People National Party secured 29. And it says the leader of the party that wins a majority becomes the island's next prime minister, which would be Holness's party, hence his third term. They say under him, there was a 43% drop in killings so far this year, and 70% drop in killings in the region when it comes to Jamaica. That's due to curfews and varying other measures that were put in place to curb what was happening over there in Jamaica. And the Holness also campaigned on raising the minimum wage. So he pledged that if his party would win, that he would double the current minimum wage of $100 per 40-hour work week if elected. $100?
Well, that is why they were
really
saying
have the best pay?
yeah.
100 Jamaican dollars?
We have a
Things
call.
tight down there, boy. Caller, good morning. You're live on LNT. What?
Hi, good morning.
Good day.
Yes, good day. I listened to the previous caller, and you know he has it exactly right. Okay, and it could be frustrating. I understand your position, Quint. It could be frustrating when other people don't see things that you might think are obvious, but you have to remain true to yourself.
Yeah.
So even if yours is not the popular opinion, right, you have come to that, you've shaped your opinion based on your sense of history, your values, your worldview, all those kinds of things, okay? And you've come to what you consider to be a position, a principal position to take. And so, having gone to the trouble to do all that, I don't think you should give up. I don't think you should become disillusioned.
Well, I'm not disillusioned, and I don't intend to give up, but yes, occasionally I am frustrated.
Yes. You see, because everybody is in survival mode, it seems. What's on the mind of most people right now? Making sure their kids go out to school, not looking disadvantaged. So obviously they're gonna get whatever is the latest trend, etc., etc.
Yeah.
That's, for them, it's bread and butter issues.
Yeah.
Okay? The leaders themselves are also in survival mode. For them, it's winning the next election, maintaining their power, maintaining their lifestyle, and that is as far as it goes. They don't have a vision further than that. And you can say the same thing with people, the majority of the people with bread and butter issues. Okay? They don't see the bigger picture of making sure that what they're doing now make the next generation better.
Yeah.
Right? It's a day-to-day thing, struggle for them.
But let me ask
Right.
you this. Let me ask you this, because I hear what you're saying. But I not too long ago was a young parent and had, children along with their mothers. And I was in that very same position where I'm in survival mode. I want to survive. I want to make sure that I can make ends meet. I want to make sure my children have, if not the best, at least the best that I can afford. But I, at the same time, was aware of the trends. So why can't we multitask? Why can't our brain, why can't we see that, okay, I'm trying here to survive, I'm trying to make the best for my children, but I see a trend here that it's not going to work out for my children. I may be gone, but it's going to be hard for my children. Why can't we see that? And say something about it. And we don't have to say, well, I don't like Labour, or I don't like PAM, or I don't like NRPRC. All we have to say is, look, I am a citizen here, and I see this happening, and I don't like it because it's not going to hold good for the future. And I had to say something, and I hope you as the leaders will do something to change the trajectory that we're on. What is wrong with that?
Well, the problem. Well, first of all, the problem is leadership, right? It isn't. It is a fact that most people are disappointed with leadership, with their leadership. They choose them, but they're disappointed with them. First of all, I don't know about a lot, but some people choose their leaders for very superficial reasons. They
Yeah.
just like them, or
Yeah.
those kinds of strange things. Okay, as opposed to, or another superficial reason. Well, they bribe you with something.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not looking at any principle or any long-term future, anything. They're looking for here and now. And the leaders, surprisingly, actually, when I went up and was speaking with Premier Brantley, you know one of the things he said? You got to be careful that you don't think that your views
I remember that.
Multiplied, right.
And I
exactly.
spoke to it
That's
yesterday.
them.
Yeah, I spoke to it yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I spoke to it.
Yes. Okay. And yes, he's right. That is correct. Okay. Their view, the fact that, well, it's just a few people talking about these, call them esoteric things, those in the air kind of things.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a few. And they don't have to worry about what that the masses are going to have that view as well.
But isn't
okay?
that...
And so they take the path, then, of least resistance. So even though they know better, because I am convinced that, I mean, they're not stupid. They're educated.
But isn't that the problem, Mr. McMahon? Isn't that the problem with the statement that he made? The way he said it, he said it with some gusto, like, you better be careful with that opinion you got, because I don't think the Nevis people see that. That is the problem, because the masses of the people sit back and don't say anything, they feel empowered.
Yes, yes. So it's a path of least resistance for them. They don't have to worry about they're being elected again because people are not taking on those things. You see, and you know the problem? If you don't struggle for something, you don't appreciate it.
Yeah, that's true.
And right, and it's very hard for you to appreciate the struggles of others.
Yeah.
So even though our ancestors might have struggled, even though the generations before us might have struggled, we don't identify with it. We identify with now.
And that is the sad thing. I remember some years ago when I was young, a certain individual struggled and had, reach up, and he is a successful business person, and he has his children, and he has a particular son, and because he's now in this, affordable financial position, he buys this flashy sports car for his son. And the son, 2 days after, the car is a total wreck. So yeah, you're right. Because the son didn't work for it, but I don't know. There are very few people, because I would have thought, like, this is how I would have thought. I would have said, wow, my father bought this sports car for me, boy. When I go out and people heads turn, I would think, boy, my father, he must have worked hard to get this, and I appreciate it, because look at my status because of it, and I'm going to take care of it. But the majority don't seem to do that. They just put their foot on the gas and they go reckless, and bam, it's gone.
Just like that.
Just like that.
And that's the whole point. If they are not inculcated with the values, if they're not taught the values of the hard work and sacrifice and those things that enable their predecessors to give them these things, they're not going to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they'll feel entitled.
Yeah.
Or, as a matter of fact, what that does is that same guy's friends would say, why my father didn't give me this?
Yeah, yeah.
That would be the first thought.
Yeah, and to take it a little further, the father might be trying his best, and the son has his face pushed up and whatever, and his father says, "Oh, what happened to you?" And the son says, because a lot of young people, they just spill their emotions out. He might say, "Well, how is it Harry could get a flashy car and you all this time?" And kids will say that,
Well, and to be sure, it's not just kids, and they get that from somewhere.
Exactly.
When parents watch each other, and you know how it is, keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of that. Okay, and so that is apparently what rules now. And I think our leaders, like I said, even though they know better, they cater to our worst instinct. And as a result of that, this is what we have.
But listen to this, because I was thinking, how do we change? There are some simple things that parent can do. Let's say you have your parent, you have 3 children. You see it start in the home. You share something to them, and you give the 3 of them, let's say you give the 3 of them each a sugar cake. The sugar cake looks the same size, but one of them might look at the others, and because of his mindset, somehow he feels that Susie got a bigger sugar cake than his. So next thing you know, you see him trying to take away Susie's, you know. As parents, that's where you have to start to nip it in the bud. You have to let him understand, look, you must be satisfied with what you have. I remember I had a great aunt who told me, a lot of people who know me would tell you I don't really eat from people, strange people I don't know. But that was inculcated in me from small. If I would be coming home with a candy, or remember those jawbone bakers back in the day, or whatever, and she says, where you got that? And I said, Harry gave me. Man, she'd give me a cuff or a whack. A real cuff. Understand? And I would, so when I went to other people's places and they said, you want this or you want, sometimes I felt in my mind, boy, I could deal with that, but I knew the consequences. Exactly. And so I didn't do that. Now, when I got my first son, my first child, I remember I started to teach that to him. But children would be children. I remember a day I was on the bus and I have him in my lap, and there's a lady next to us and she's eating a chocolate bar, and my son is watching the lady, and I feel uncomfortable because I'm thinking to myself, in my mind I'm saying, Junior, don't, you know, as if he could, Junior, stop watching the lady. In my mind, you know what I'm saying? But he's watching the lady, and the lady looks at him a few times, and next thing you know, she breaks off a piece and she puts it in his hand, right? Now, the first thing he does when she puts it in his hand, he looks at me, right?
Yeah.
I take the piece of candy from him and I give it back to the lady. She says, why did you do that? And I told her point blank, I told him not to want what he see other people have. Maybe she felt away, but that is the way I had, you know, that is the way I was trained.
Yeah.
And
the
this
mere
is
fact that he looked at you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he
like
knows.
he's pleading.
He understood the message.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. Right, and that is what I'm saying. How many parents, you think, would handle that situation in the way that you did it?
Yeah, because when you leave him with it, mind you, he looked at me like he was saying, Daddy, you know, is this okay?
Okay.
If I left him with it, then I've set a precedence now, you know.
Yes.
He knows that, okay, he can go on watching everybody and they're going to give him, and no, you have to nip it. And it's those simple things where you start training children so that when they become leaders now, you'll be surprised they don't have this selfish, all these minds, I have to look out for me and I don't care about the people, because it is inculcated in them.
This, what we have now didn't just start. It didn't just happen overnight. The kind of leaders we have now, they were trained to be what they are now. Okay. You haven't you wondered why, for instance, they keep making the same mistakes over and over again, right? You know, some rich person come, and they mesmerize them. They're impressed by whatever they got, and next thing you know, they negotiate some deal with them that is not to our benefit. Okay, and we end up having to pay for it in one way or the other. But it keeps happening over and over again. Right? I mean, when I intimated that to Premier Brantley, he objected and said that didn't apply to Nevis. Maybe saying it's not to Nevis.
Yeah, I remember. And I spoke to that also.
What would you call what happened with the MSR media?
Yeah, that's the same thing.
You know, he was paying their bills, some of their bills in Nevis, right? And look what happened in the end. It just keeps happening over and over, and so you have to wonder You know, is this, are we condemned to repeating this?
Well,
You know,
I still feel that the people, it don't have to be everybody, but I think that the people occasionally must voice their opinion and let it be known that, no, okay, we don't like this trend, or we don't, and send a message there.
well, to be
we,
quite
we
honest,
have another caller holding on, so I don't know if you want to. Hello, caller?
Yes, good morning to you guys, man.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just thank my Mahan for traveling over the shark-infested waters the other night to represent for the people. I mean, I don't know where the opposition politicians are. Yeah, that caller before McMahon, great comments, man. For me, we just seen this constant cycle, man, over and over. Christoph Harbour and all those other projects and Sinkits especially that's just sitting there unfinished. Where do we go from here? This bill that has been an outcry, what are our politicians going to do? Are they going to ignore the people? Are they going to keep moving? Are they going to repeal this bill? You know, the average person in Sinkis and Nevis, especially the younger ones, they don't really seem like they care about the politics and the political affairs of the country. And I personally is trying to encourage them to really get involved.
Some are, because I can remember, and I'm sure you too, Mr. McMahon, there was a particular young lady who kept calling in to the Mark Grantley thing, and she was asking questions, you know,
Yes,
because she wanted to be enlightened. So there are a few, but we feel that we would like to see more, you know.
Yes. But to be sure, though, it is not easy to go against the grain in small societies like ours. So it isn't that I'm being hypercritical of those who would prefer to remain silent, okay? Because speaking up, for most people, speaking up lead to consequences that they don't like.
But it's usually.
Right? And who are we? And who are we to say? Well, you should supposed to stand up for right.
But here's the rub, Mr. McMahon. You're right. I won't dispute that. You're right. But it's usually you pay, you suffer consequences because it's not enough. The numbers aren't enough. But if the numbers are enough, you don't suffer consequences, you know. The system changes because the system knows it. A clear message has been sent. But when you're the one and the twos here, they're going to come at you. So that is where you're right. Burl, you can let Burl continue. Yeah.
Okay, Quint, you mentioned a young lady that was I guess keep asking questions. So let me go down to that line. Two things. First of all, two things I heard Mark Brantley say, right? That he should try to break away from the norm. He said, one, it's not normal. Since he been in Parliament, he hasn't seen any bill that was passed after consultation. He's saying that from the history since he been in Parliament, he didn't see no consultations.
No, I don't think that is what he said. If I remember properly, what he said was he hasn't seen any bill. He hasn't seen any bill brought to the public or brought to a forum to be discussed. But he's right. It's not the bill. It's what the bill purports to do. For instance, we don't. The bill is usually after the fact. The bill is people come, they make some, you know, they offer potential investment and blah blah blah. And because of where the leadership feels this potential investment may lead, then they go into the parliament and they pass a bill. But we're not speaking to that. We're speaking to.
But Quinn, one of the difficulties that what made the Premier uneasy was when people and several persons asked, who instigated the bill?
Yes.
Was the bill out of thoughtful representation or ideas from the lawmakers, or did it come about because they was given a proposal and they wanted something to basically, as they put it, have a framework for that proposal to operate in.
Yes.
And I think it's the latter. He went all around the bush and said, well, the bills are written by the Attorney General's office, et cetera, et cetera. But it does not deny the fact that it seems as if this bill was
more of an
crafted.
accommodation.
Yes, it was an accommodation to them, and,
Yes.
and people realized it was in a matter of weeks of getting the proposal that you had this bill going through all its passages, and it is incorrect to say that bills have not been there haven't been consultations before bills have passed. The Attorney General Chambers himself, I remember him putting out.
Yes, someone made reference to the weed, the
yes,
marijuana
there were other
thing,
things
yeah.
as well. I think it was the integrity bills
Yeah.
and so on. Because I remember actually writing about that to the Attorney General's chambers, suggestions and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are different mediums. So that was not true. Okay, and even if it has not been general practice in the past, shouldn't you change it now to have best practice?
That's the point. That's the point.
You know?
This is where good leaderships make the positive changes
Exactly.
going forward. Yes. Yeah. So, Burl, you may continue if you have something to say.
So one other thing in regard to what we're discussing here is that the lady, I think a lady called in on his show and asked him if she can get, or the public can get, the proposed project, the formal, proposal. And he said whatever he said. I mean, I don't think that he was trying to bring that transparency forward. And why is it so difficult for the public to get any type of documentation in that regard? And like you say, why can't they break away from the norm?
Yeah. That is why we get leaders, and that is why people change, because people really are looking for leaders with the gusto to make changes, positive changes. Unfortunately, they follow the same old.
But apart from that, although the lands in Nevis right now, that's ground zero. I mean, it's a clear and present possibility, if not danger, right? And so, yes, we concentrate on that, but it has the same implications for the rest of the Federation, for St. Kitts.
Yeah.
Look what's about to happen at Fort Thomas.
Yeah.
How much input has there been from other stakeholders?
That's it.
Look at some of these projects that they're talking about. How much input was there from ordinary people?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like I said, when you elect a government, you don't just elect a government and go back to sleep. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they're going to run all over you and do all kinds of things while you're sleeping.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? You have to be hold their feet to the fire. You have to. The government itself have to be consultative and inclusive and all of that.
Well,
Not
Mr.
just
McMahon.
do what they like.
Well, Mr. McMahon, I must commend you because it took you had to be bold to go over there to Nevis and get in that forum and you tried your best to push your points and so forth. So we must commend you as one of the voices.
That's why I said he needs to run for
wilderness.
government, because he'll do a good job.
Me?
Yes,
no,
you.
yes. Man, you need some commendation, man, for real.
Younger people.
But a lot of young people don't run. A lot of our politicians are ageable. Only now the young ones are getting in there.
Well, it is, I think, it's still a very hectic thing. And so it really takes very young, very energetic people to really go through the rigors of an election campaign, especially the kinds of election campaigns that we have down here.
Yeah.
And then implement
policies.
Stick to the guns and implement correct policies.
Yeah.
But people really should speak up. Okay,
Yeah.
I agree. People should really speak up. The more people speak up, the better.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think that should. The fact that other people are not speaking up, that should stop those of us who are from speaking up. In the end, history will absolve us. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Eventually, people will see the consequences of like not speaking up, not holding the leaders accountable, and hopefully then, you know, how parents will make who don't hear will feel, who can't hear will feel, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that is what it would take to have a sea change in how we do business here. But you know, I'm still optimistic.
Well, I too am.
Change,
yeah.
you know?
So anyway, we're going to take a bit
So
of a
quick,
commercial.
lastly, I want to say something real quick before we get off, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lastly, in terms of who initiated the bill, it's not difficult to figure that out. Where the lands are located and where the project is coming.
Yeah.
And lastly, why can't we get the Prime Minister? He's so highly talking about the Aspire program. Why can't we get the Aspire program attached to any one of these big projects that's coming, and have those kids acquire some lands right now, and so that they can have a piece of the rock going forward. That's it for me on this side. Thank you. You guys have a good day.
Okay, we'll take a bit of a commercial break and we'll be right back.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
St. Kitts and Nevis, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to Digicel, activate a 3-day plan or higher, pay your bill in full, sign up for postpaid or a new Digicel Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today.
From the time that you taste it, man, you know that it's greatness. Some ice in your cup, tell your friends link up. You know that we liming. Signal the bartender. No, we don't need chaser. But if you want, it could mix with anything. We drinking Stones ginger wine, the original ginger wine. We drinking like I say. Stones ginger wine. Greatness is forever.
Back to school is here at Harper's. Yes, Harper's, it's where it's at with the widest selection of school and art supplies for all schoolgoers, from the tiniest preschooler to the big cool college students. Plus, everyone can enjoy a 10% discount and a chance to spin the wheel and enter our grand draw in September. And the bonus is, our friendly team is looking forward to welcoming you again and again and again. For more information, call us at 466-6500.
Yeah, we got that.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island T as we continue here.
And we have a caller.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island T.
Yes, hello, it's me again. Now, Andrew Holness in Jamaica, I think I heard you say he won again.
Yes.
And he won on the promise, one of the promises he won on that he going to double the minimum wage.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to say this. Andrew Holness, who just won in Jamaica, if he really followed through on that promise that he's going to double the minimum wage, that is only going to make things worse in Jamaica, at least for the people he intends it to help. It will be a counterproductive, negative, ruinous, destructive thing on the Jamaican economy.
But Greg, it's only 100 US now, which is next to nothing. The average Catrician works for $920 more than the average Jamaican. And the minimum wage just rose on June 1st of this year. I guess that was a political ploy. I'm going to say it out loud, but yeah.
Yesterday, I quoted to Quint. He doesn't agree with it, but yet yesterday I told him recent study just came out of the University of California that shows government increasing the minimum wage. It helps. It is a contributing factor to the increase of homelessness. Okay? You could argue with it, but it is in line, one, with the Bible, two, with what I already know, that government increasing minimum wages destroy jobs and the sort of stuff.
Greg,
Jamaica economy.
My thing is this. Whereas there might be instances where that might be true, because you might have had individuals who already have a certain amount as their minimum wage, and government just use this as a political ploy without thinking long term, perhaps. But you cannot always use any given instance and use it and apply it to everything. There are times when something that doesn't work in one instance might work in another. Not that everybody should take up and just do this, but this is where I kind of disagree. And again, people can always do their research and come up with different things and say they have found out that this is contributing to homelessness and blah. But if you take a whole picture of the society, you will find that it isn't any one contributing factor. It isn't just that they got a minimum wage. It is price of rent and so many different things. Price of utilities, costs, and people not being able to juggle food and rent and maintenance of certain things, and they find themselves homeless. But for an article to just specifically say for government to raise minimum wage, it has shown that it contributes to homelessness, that to me is untrue, because there are different factors that contribute.
But that's what I say. It is a contribution. It's not the only thing.
Yes.
It only makes a bad situation worse.
So then they should not just say it is a contributing factor. Then say these are the contributing factors then, and at least name 4 or 5. Don't just single out one and say it is a contributing factor and people wind up homeless. That isn't.
The study was about homelessness.
Yes.
And does minimum wage contribute to it? That is what the study was.
And in the end, they said, as you have concurred, it is a contributing factor.
Yes.
So if the article, if the article wants to be genuine, the article must give you other instances. Say, okay, minimum wage is one of the contributing factors, along with so and so and so. Name a few. Don't just say it contributes and then just pick out one.
Yeah, but the article wasn't concerned about the other. The article was just concerned about.
But it should be about the others. You cannot you cannot just pick out one and then say it is one of the. If you're gonna say
do that for a study.
If
for a study you can do that.
Yes, but then I feel that the onus is on you to name some of the others. That is what I'm saying.
Other studies have done that.
Well, so they
Other
should have
studies
done it too.
Have done that.
They
Yes.
should have done it too, because in truth and
Other
in fact,
studies-
it is disingenuous.
But Greg, you want the persons, as the article went on to say, the persons that are at the bottom. I don't really like that. You want people to stay at the bottom. You don't want people to have something that they can rely on.
Increasing minimum wages now keep them stagnant at the bottom because you price them out of the job market. So it really keep them bottom.
That is not
as
the
a matter of
case.
fact, a low
That,
paying
Greg,
wage.
that is
So
not
how
the
does
case.
one help somebody to elevate by increasing by not increasing their wage?
Because if you have a job, okay, if you have a job which minimum wage price many people out lose a job, that's awesome. But if you have a job, just apply yourself, learn more about the job, become more marketable, go do studies or whatever, and that sort of stuff. At least you have a job paying you. But
And you
when
must-
you increase minimum wage, people lose their job more.
Some people,
it's harder for people
Greg,
to be fired.
Greg,
Man,
again,
no,
you're
I
making
can't
a,
agree with
Greg,
that.
you're making a broad statement. For instance, let's use a scenario here. The government increased minimum wage. There are some businesses that have accommodated that and have said, okay, we feel our workers deserve. But there are some who we understand are resisting that. So you're saying that everybody should always suffer because no one wants to elevate its own people?
Especially where small and medium businesses are concerned, they can't absorb it as the bigger businesses. And I'm going to tell you, in the end, the net result in the end is going to be the people you intend to help, is the people you're going to make life harder for, because especially where the small and medium businesses are concerned, they're the one who are going to first fire people. They're the one who are going to slow down and hiring people, that sort of stuff. Yes, big businesses, as these things drive the small and medium businesses out of the market, big businesses
Greg,
gets more opportunity.
Greg,
But-
there's a point
but
that
the
you...
net result is going to be negative.
Greg, there's a point that you've made on numerous occasions, and I agree with you on it. So let's use it in this scenario. Hortensia has a small business. She employs 2 people, right? The minimum wage goes up. You think it's just because the minimum wage went up that she might go out of business? Here's the point that you use, and I agree with you. When you have certain businesses who are wholesalers and retailers, they're protected, but there's this protectionism where people, Hortensia can't go as a small business and import certain things because certain businesses have a monopoly on that. Those are things that impede her. So it isn't any one
agree.
thing.
But who's saying it's any one thing? I'm saying nobody's saying it's any one thing.
But Greg, you
So don't
always
come with
make
that.
reference to
What I
once
am-
minimum wage go up, the poor person suffers.
Yeah, but there are other
Because
contributing
they lose
factors.
their job more poor people lose their job.
But I've hardly heard people who are at the bottom of the totem pole, just to make it sound better than what they're saying in this article. I don't see them losing their jobs. I see them still working. Especially here in St. Kitts, where I live.
Look at even in St. Kitts, without the raise of minimum wages, small and medium businesses are continually going out of business. You think putting them in
Why?
extra expense with raise?
Because
why?
we stopped supporting them and going to other shops. That's why. We
No,
ourselves are to blame sometimes.
It ain't just that inflation going up.
But
Not
everything is,
inflation going up.
exactly, that's why we cannot keep the person that makes minimum wage at minimum wage. How will they survive? Then they'll have to steal. Then they'll
But
have
they
to
ain't
do
gonna
all
have a
kind of
job
illegal
which is
things.
worse.
Anyway, you know
But
Greg
they
is
ain't gonna
you know
have a
Greg
job
is
which
going to
is worse for
always
them.
you know Greg is going to always go back to the same point.
Okay, watch. Yeah, based upon more studies by economists, minimum wages only on a net result make things worse for the people it intends to have because of more than one factor.
And let me tell you something. You see those economists, they're some of the most dangerous people in the world because they go and they say they study economy and next thing you know, entities employ them and they find all kind of loopholes and all kind of way to undermine the system, those very same economists. You do research on these economists and you see how the majority of them are making sure that they line their pockets, and it's like they go to the highest bidder. If someone wants them to say this, they rig things in a way so that it accommodates that. And if you want them to say another thing, so don't just use this and say economists. Because for instance, look at in the Bush era when you had this individual who was the head economist, and he advised them not to do this and advised them, and you see the problems that they wound up in. And then next thing you know, when Obama comes in, he has to take certain kind of measures, and certain things he had to renege on because he made certain statements before he put his foot in the ring. And when you put your foot in the ring, the economy must go on. So he had to do some bailout too.
Yeah, but you remember there are economists of different schools of thought. When government do take the advice of economists that steer them more in a free market capitalist direction, things do improve. But what I want to say, the biggest reason is that government increasing the minimum wage goes against the Bible. That's the biggest reason, and you cannot go against the Bible and when you will always lose.
When it comes to you and when it comes to you and me and going against the Bible, we part ways vociferously along those lines. So
okay,
you hold to your opinion and I'll hold to mine. Yes.
Quinn, so another thing quickly. I want to correct you something that you said in the past. You said a black man, and his name was really Louis Howard Latimer. That he invented the telephone and the light bulb. That is not true.
No, I did not say. I said Latimer invented the lasting machine. Maybe
he invented things.
Maybe
he did not invent the light bulb.
I never use his name in relation to the light bulb. So maybe you heard something.
I heard you said that.
Well,
that he invented the light bulb.
You heard wrong. I said Louis Latimer invented the lasting machine, and it was so complicated that even the patent office could not decipher or comprehend, and they had to bring him in to explain it. But he still wound up dying a pauper. Now tell me how fair that is. But in terms of the light bulb, Alexander Graham Bell, they give him the credit, but there's another individual who invented the filament, and I don't remember the name right now. But no, I didn't say what you're accusing me of saying.
No. What Latimer did invent, he invented the carbon filament, which was an improvement on Edison's carbonized paper filament.
Well, maybe, you see, as you say that, I'm going to have to. Maybe I'm mixing up names in terms of Latimer. I have a book, I'm going to have to bring it here because there's so much in my head that sometimes I mix up things. But I don't know if I'm going to have to find out who invented the lasting. Cotton, so look up lasting machine and see who invented it. It should be
lasting?
Could I say something?
The shoe lasting. Type in shoe lasting machine, and the name might not be Latimer. But if I said Latimer, it would be that he invented the.
No, I didn't hear you use his name. I never heard you use his name.
Okay.
I heard you said was a black man who did this. I said Latimer to identify the person.
Okay, yes, because you had me kind of puzzled there. So.
No, you did not say Latimer. You said a black man.
Okay, yes. Okay.
Concerning the lady who you just played the video clip of, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She did develop a treatment for leprosy, but it was not a cure, but it was an effective treatment. And it was used up until the 1940s, where they came up with a treatment. I believe that might have been the cure for leprosy. But yes, the professor who she was working with, he stole her glory.
Yes.
He did steal her glory. But the truth eventually came out. You see, what is done in the Bible tell you, what is done in the dark is going to come out in the light, and that is so true. Quint, I would never ever go against the Bible in anything.
Well, I don't ask you to. I say that is one of the things I respect of you. You hold fast to your belief, and I'll hold fast to mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Quinn.
Okay then.
Take care, God. Jesus Christ is King. Jesus Christ is the King of all kings and the Lord of all lords. So
Yes.
take care.
Yeah. Have you found that as yet, Cortez?
It's a guy. I had it here just now. I'm trying to pull it back. He's from Suriname.
No, the he's an American. The shoe lasting machine.
Yeah, he moved to America.
Okay.
He's from Suriname.
Okay. Well, you see, I don't remember everything.
Yeah,
give
they said,
give
look,
me the
shoe lasting
information.
machine was invented by Jan Urs Matt Zeliger,
Yes,
a Surinamese,
Matt Zeliger.
a Surinamese
Yes.
American inventor who
Okay,
patented the device in
Surinamese
1883.
American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he moved. It says he moved.
Okay.
Born in Paramaribo, Dutch Ghana, now Suriname in 1852. He immigrated to the United States and worked in a shoe factory.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the name I would have used in Latimer intro. But look, my brain has so much, sometimes
Yeah,
I
it
get
happens.
mixed
Don't
up
worry.
with certain things. But I would never put information out there that is untrue. You understand? I might, for instance, like I was unaware or I didn't recall that he had migrated, but I'm putting the emphasis on the invention. That is what my emphasis was on. And
Yeah.
yes, it is. What's his name again?
Matt Zeliger.
Matt Zeliger, yeah.
Matt Zeliger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. But Greg always speaks about the negative of raising the minimum wage.
Yeah.
I hardly have ever hear him tout the positive
because
of it.
Greg's hold fast to his belief and he doesn't divert from it in any way. Even if you show him certain things, he's going to always go back. And that's why sometimes we don't get anywhere with Greg. Because with me, if I put forward something and you come and I can see where you're moving down a line that I cannot comprehend, I will say, well, okay, I understand that. You understand? But Greg doesn't do that. Greg is going to steadfastly hold along.
Yeah, because it said raising the minimum wage can reduce poverty, income equality, while boosting consumer spending and local economies. It says higher wages help low-wage workers afford basic necessities, which can lift families out of poverty and decrease income disparities. Paula, good morning. You're live on Island T.
Hey, good morning. How are we doing?
Fine, thank
Good,
you.
yourself?
Good to hear from you.
I was wondering if she was celebrating.
Who is celebrating?
Since you have your president, he won the election. What happened in Guyana?
President Irfan Ali won the election. I don't know if that's my president because I don't follow elections like that.
I know where you're born in the country, so
yeah,
you make out.
So I must just make out.
You might as well, You got 5 years to wait.
Oh boy, all right.
Now you said this thing about raising minimum wage.
Yes.
It's a political ploy.
Yeah, because that's what he promised.
Yeah, well, even Andrew Holness is in the week before election.
No, but he raised it since June 1st, 2025.
Yeah, but he said he's going to count up to 18,000. Now, if you're struggling, anything that they offer you sounds like a big deal. But the trouble is, even in saying, oh, Harris gained 500, I'm going to give 1,500. They're still waiting.
Boy.
Still waiting. But you said that's a drowning man after a straw. He grabs it. So you see, because Greg wants everybody to stay down, because up to now, Greg, he does say the Bible says he can't tell you when the Bible says so,
Because
in the book of James, it says, woe to you who rich, who hold back the wages of the worker. And if he knows that, I think it's either James 4 or 5.
He always speaks of the negative. He never, and my thing is, right? If Jesus didn't want Peter them to make money, he want to tell them go cast the net on the other side. He would have just leave them man without things, right? This is how I look at it.
Not only that, Greg is under the impression that in order to the wealthy to increase, you must keep down.
And that's
keep
what I'm
down
saying. It's like
the minimum.
It's like the minimum wage worker is not supposed to rise.
All right, let us say you keep it down. What services do you provide for them?
They're going to be more dependent. Imagine you giving them more money. They're going to be less dependent on the government.
They're going to be hungrier.
Exactly.
They're not to steal more. You know what I mean?
Said that.
They're going to be more homeless. Talk about homelessness.
Yeah.
That when you can't pay your rent in America, they don't say, Oh, well, come on. When they're putting you out, they're putting you out. They don't care if it's snowing outside.
That is the point I use. There are different contributing factors.
But he just sees one way.
Yeah.
One way.
Well, you see, he does that, I said, because it suits his belief.
Yeah.
And then he throw in the Bible on top of it. I agree with him. When you throw in the Bible, please to throw in the scripture and the chapter, the verse, and the situation.
Yeah.
Because what he's doing is justifying wickedness, you know. A lot of things he said in the Bible, he might hint it, but he didn't say it. God talk about justice. He said, what does the Lord require of you? Love justice. Justice is in it, you know. But Greg don't see that. Huh? The Jews were required to
pay tax.
Don't reap the bother of your field. Leave it for the poor. When the boss decides, look, this is my grain and I could do it, well, you could do. That's what God said, look, you could bring all the cow and all the sheep and all the goat, darling, unless and until you look after the poor. Minimum wage is just, because remember, if you go to the Marxist thing, you know, the only person who supplies surplus is the labor.
Yeah.
The labor. So when you go turning them away, you think you have less expenditure, less sales in your business.
Because they can't
So that they have to work out what do they. So when Oregon shut down the business, 85% of small businesses go out of business, not because they carry up the wage.
Because nobody buying, right?
You know, one of the main contributing factor to people going out, who went out of business some years ago, the high electricity costs.
Yeah, but more than that.
Yeah.
Because you could monitor and the different ways of dealing with the electricity costs. Before you go into the business, you must have a plan. You must have an idea. So what? Is it profitable? You don't just go into the business because you see one down the road. You will eventually have to come out. Because some of them don't even have any employees and they still go to business.
Yeah.
Poor service could send you out of business.
Yeah.
Poor customer service could send you out of business, you know.
Definitely.
And the wages are already poor. But what I am bringing to the attention is that there is a action, a movement going on where a number of the foreign-owned companies, the small ones, small and medium, who have ignored the government's law or rule. They are not paying the workers the minimum wage. You understand? But what Greg does not bear in mind is a lot of those small and medium businesses have received and are receiving a lot of government incentives. You aware of that, right?
I've heard, yeah.
Yeah. They get this, they get that, they get the other. So, Greg, please, when you, I agree with you. I support the Bible too. But it must be done in context. You don't come and say, well, I am a libertarian, so everything is free and so on. The Bible says people, when they're like that, they do what they want.
That is a word.
They neither take God nor man, so I don't understand what you're talking about. Please give the context. Scripture take not a context, confuse people. You keep repeating it. I believe in the Bible as much as Greg, maybe even more. But he is twisting it to suit his political belief. They must get everything free. And you can't tell them how to set the price. Huh?
And the Lord said don't add to the Bible.
I mean, God like justice, you know. The more than one thing, he send them into captivity. People working all the time in your field and they're not better off. But that's what Greg is saying, you know. And he could look at history, the Industrial Revolution, the amount of poor people.
But remember, Greg is always pushing free market and capitalism, so that is one of the reasons why.
No, that he pushing libertarian.
Well,
the people do as they like. And for you to do as you like, you got to be in a position like that.
Yeah.
Where the people at the bottom depend on you for their existence.
That is a word.
Even when they carry up the minimum wage, people them still think, Now, this morning, the Rasta man made a good point,
Yeah.
He might sound aggressive like me, and you were asking a question as to what about the contribution of those at the bottom. You got to be bold. You have to be bold.
Yeah.
Because if you know me, or if you know about me, I don't back down.
Yeah.
Oh, me saying you don't like poor people. When I tell some of them, look, and you think, what the worst thing? They don't support their own oppression. You aware of that?
Yes, yes. Because that is what they're doing presently. That is what they're doing presently.
Not presently, it's always so. I mean, all my life, even all to school, I used to
But I'm speaking to now. I'm speaking to now because even in their silence and their quiet, they're motivating.
They put on the red shirt, the green shirt, the yellow shirt, and the blue shirt. And I remember when they were doing the housing scheme, I said that is a shame and embarrassment. You build these little job-up houses and have the people shaking keys of them. In 1937, I think it is, Edgar Challenger, Edgar Challenger, you know about him?
Yes, yes.
He and Thomas Manchester, were elected as representative for the Workers' League. Now, the village I came from is called Hainsmith Village. And the governor, Sir William Hainsmith, that was his name, decided to set up the village. Because, Irish Town and Newtown were just pure slum, not ghetto, slum.
Yeah.
And so he said, well, they're going to extend Bastille. The plan was to extend it northward, which would have been the whole Greenlands. All there was Shadwell estate land. And in those days, it was the estate owners who sat on the legislature. So these two were elected. And when the governor said the man was asking too much to extend Bastille north, they decided they would go west. And he got a better bargain. And the legislature members decided that the people, they could get the land, but they decided the size of the land. And when Edgar Challenger went into the legislature, he said, look, that housing scheme that you're all praising is a failure. He said, you're only giving the people enough land to put a house on it. We want to develop a peasantry. Nevis had a peasantry,
Yeah.
where people not only lived on the land, but they were able to produce. And they said, no, we can't allow them that because if they're able to produce food on the land where they have their house, they're not going to want to work on the estate. And to my surprise, in 1995, they said we put up 5,000 what? If you go across Panzer Extension, you see the size of the land on the house on the Palm project?
Yeah.
Some massive houses are put on the back of them, and they have land in front. But the Labour government gained just enough to put the house. You don't have no privacy, the house job up under the other person's house. Miss Henry ain't like poor people. I said, number one, the houses should not all be 2 bedrooms. You are taking people out of McKnight and Newtown and so, who have 6 and 7 children, and have a man living in there with the mother. How do you expect those children to live? Oh, at least they got to go forward hell.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Failures. A lot of these things we do are failures.
Yeah. Their philosophy their philosophy is anything is better than nothing, and even though it has some merit.
That's not their own philosophy, They ain't even well here while you win the seat. They move. They go to higher heights. Their children they don't send them to private school, to public school, you know. And when they're talking about, who own land over Peninsula, Mr. Bratcher own land over there, they try to avoid it. You know? And the big house by the square, that could have taken down a long time ago and make a nice, decent place. You understand?
Yeah.
And then now, so when you hear people talking about, I got so much cost for him, it's a good thing God on my side. And the thing that hurt me, you know, the people would have been cussing me in such desperate situation.
Yeah.
And yet, when if the bell ring today or tomorrow, they say, fall in.
Yeah.
Join your class, find your class. So the class of the black and the poor people is always the bottom. So find it. The same thing going in Jamaica. You know what's going on. The same thing going in Guyana. You see how much things my man was given? The president?
Yep.
Just before election, about 2,500 for so-and-so at the college, this and that and that and that.
Yeah.
If they had announced these things 2 years ago, you know? But you see, when you are on the edge, when you're on the brink of survival, even if you don't like it, you take it. And you got to make sure you got to show up. And they come by your house. And really, our politicians, I don't know buy. And selling out the land. Now let me get to this thing, which may not be obvious to you. This thing about free passport, free entrance into these African states. It's not for us, you know. We can't afford to buy a ticket to go up to Africa. The price is so prohibitive. It is all of those non-citizen-born people who no longer can get into maybe America or Canada are going to use our passport to the African countries to exploit it. That ever cross your mind?
Yes, it has, but look, I can't. Sometimes I sit in this chair and so much is going through my head, I forget a lot of it, you know.
I just hear them now. I said, Lord, it costs over 9,000 or something to go to Africa. You think all the rest of them who want to go home could go Ethiopia tomorrow morning?
If they had the funds. I'm not going to doubt that they can acquire or get them.
How long it take the other citizens to acquire it? They got it. Just like in Canada. You see, in Canada, they were turning up 300 at a time. Oh, that is my great-granddaughter. She can come, you're going to hear on the radio of your life. All of my children like that.
Yeah.
Really, I say, look at that now. They're not making ways for us, you know. They're making ways for them. And so they could afford to demand that they give them these lots, residential lots. It is a shame, it's a crying shame on the Labour government. Look, the farmer one, I don't mean Mr. Bratcher, because he declared early o'clock he did not take the land to give to the people. So that ruled him out of it. Because if not the people, then who? Dr. Douglas come in and he share out the land by large lots. He share out and deprive the villagers, you know. You understand? He fight to get land for people on the peninsula. He know that we paid for the road and he was contending. Well, go in and correct it now. He could have gone in and take over the land because the road is ours. He looking for people who does give free tickets. He go down to his own constituency and put the people on the borderline. Kitishan Hill was the people's farmland. Where they had the horse and dog race track was the people land. You go down to Sandy Point and the people land. Fence it in and talk about the making Gulf Coast.
As you speak about that, I was hearing that recently he has been touting that this this thing that is happening over on Nevis, they is going to be implemented to some extent in this, what they call it, La Valley or whatever. And I was
La Valley, ask him where the money,
And I was thinking to myself, you mean after all this time they still want to? Why? When do people wake up and learn? You can't be.
You see, the truth is, I even recall one time I was debating this thing about his rapid acquisition of real estate. And I don't grudge anybody, eh? I said, given, all you have to look in the government estimates, eh? Given his salary and his benefits, he should not have been able to do that. That is called corruption. But he answered me on the thing, I get bank loans. I said, which bank loan and which bank would give you all of these loans to acquire these large properties up the village? I was born on Millionaire Street. He said, I got loans, and I said, wait, if you're a national bank, 10,000, you're not going to throw in 100,000 on it. They want to know what you earn, so where was the earning coming from? You know what one of the staunch abusers of me say?
Yeah.
If you all think Dr. Douglas going to end up like Dr. Simmons,
yeah,
who after he leave office have to go get the injection.
And I remember a lot
people
of
who don't own anything, eh?
And a lot of them also have a tendency to say, "You think we're going to be like France?"
You understand?
What about France?
You could understand that?
France lived as
France overdid it. You see, when you got children, when you got more than one child by different people.
Oh, okay.
You salary have to pay for them.
Oh.
If I'm the village, I could send it in.
Yeah, because they say,
I'm telling you,
France sat in a borehole for all of his life, and we now end up like that, and so forth. So.
I don't see him as any idol for village people. Mr. Bratcher built a house down by the college. Mr. Southwell moved into the house on St. Johnson Avenue. That Pambill. You know?
Yeah.
He owned a house on Greenland. He left his house. And he had to walk past the village school, St. Johnson Village School. When we come to church, I had to come out to the school and go and look shelter. And he walking past it every day.
Okay, Miss Henry, we've gone a little over time.
So tell Greg, just say you hate poor people. So you hate poor people. Because if they can't get a little increase in the pay, so they could buy one more loaf of bread, then you are supporting the suppression of the poor. All right then.
Okay, thanks for your input. And have you got anything to say, Hortensia, as we close things?
No, the tea was just hot, and it's just a lot going on, and I just wish.
Well, I'm going to make a change and do the unusual, where the politicians don't make changes, but we here on Island Tea, we make changes. We're a bit over time, but I'm going to end with a light moment. I'm going to play this clip and see if you can enjoy it. Listen to this.
Black History Month in the education.
No, not that. This one. Let me go to this. Yeah, this is it.
I bet I can make you say the word 19.
What do you mean?
I bet I can make you say the word 19.
Okay, you can try.
All right. What's 10 plus 10?
20.
What's 40 plus 40?
80.
All right. What is 60 plus 40?
100.
Mm-hmm.
Do you even know these answers?
Yeah, I know the answers. Okay, so what's 70 plus 20?
70 plus 20. 90.
Gotcha! Gotcha!
No, I didn't. I said 90.
Yeah, I gotcha.
How? I didn't say 19.
But you just did know! Let's go!
That was a good one, huh?
Because I'm like, well, you said 90.
Yeah,
but I didn't say 19.
Yeah, let me play it again, right?
Yeah.
When I heard this, I had to smile, you know?
I bet I can make you say the word 19.
What do you mean?
I bet I can make you say the word 19.
Okay, you can try.
All right. What's 10 plus 10?
20.
What's 40 plus 40?
80.
All right. What is 60 plus 40?
100?
Mm-hmm.
Do you even know these answers?
Yeah, I know the answers. Okay, so what's 70 plus 20?
70 plus 20.
Uh-huh.
90.
Gotcha! Gotcha!
No, I didn't. I said 90.
Yeah, I gotcha.
How? I didn't say 19.
But you just did now! Let's go!
I must commend her. You see how she led him down
Yeah.
the path and she had the patience to
Boy,
wait
he
until he
got
said, I
crucified.
didn't say 19. And he said,
Yep.
okay.
Definitely got you. Got you.
And that's how we're going to end Island Tea for today. Take care.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
When can I open my eyes?
Not yet. Okay, open.